Oh, you can see me. Perfect. It was like, where did my face go? I'm so excited. And also, all of y'all, you can keep your mics off. You can say something. I want to hear about y'all today. I want to start off. I just want to hear about your day. Where you at? How are you feeling? Nicole,
Still
how's
at
your day?
work.
You knew I was going to call you.
It's
Yeah.
going well. It's going very well.
This is good, Nick. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
Amazing. I'm just going to let people in. Awesome. It's Friday. I didn't mean to necessarily have this call on a Friday. I meant to do it on Thursday, but got my days confused. And I'm grateful that y'all are spending your Friday with me. I appreciate it. Super kind. I'm gonna wait a little bit to let people roll in as I let them accept them in. Any fun plans for the weekend? Anyone? Jessica?
We have a wedding tomorrow, but other than that, no, I just want a relaxing weekend, I hope.
You're gonna have it.
What about you?
This is my fun plan.
I love that.
Yeah. I get so excited. Like, I'm so excited to talk today. And I plan to do more of these. If I could do them probably every week, I would. So it's gonna be fun. But wedding time, man, weddings are fun. Weddings are a blast.
They are, but like I'm kind of over it because at this point, I think we've had four weddings in the past like 5 weeks.
Hmm.
And then we have one this weekend and I think one the following weekend. So I'm like, can we just be done with weddings,
I know
please?
it's a lot because you have to sit there and dress up and do makeup. I think that's the
Mhm.
only time I ever do makeup before I'll dress up.
And it also takes like your entire day because
Mm,
like you got to go to the ceremony and then you like wait for them to come for you to eat and then like you're there and you don't want to just like be the first people to leave. So then I don't know. I hate it, but it's for good people. So
Hey, you're gonna have fun though. It allows you to kind of be present and see. It just takes you in a different perspective sometimes too, but they are a lot.
yeah.
Does anyone on here know if I can like admit everyone to come in automatically?
mm,
I don't think I can.
let me ask ChatGPT.
Oh,
I don't think you can do it once the meeting started. It's a setting you have to set up before you schedule it.
right on.
I'm
That's
so sorry.
that's good. Thank you for letting me know.
I don't know if there's anybody on here that you trust, but you can probably make somebody a co-host to admit people while you're
There you
talking.
go. Correct. Yeah, you can do that.
Well, I trust some people on here. I trust all of y'all.
Danielle, my friend, I told her about this and she signed up, but she's not getting like an email link
Let
or
me
anything, like a confirmation. And then I gave her like the meeting code and stuff, and she said it won't let me log in since it's asking for email invitation.
very interesting.
Her
Let me
name's Brienne
um
Uzi or something like that.
can I'm going to message you another link. Let's see here. And then we'll get started soon. Mhm. Does she have an Instagram or
Yes.
number that you
I
can?
can send you here. Her number will probably be easy. For 708.
Do you want to send it on here or do
Oh
you
yeah, I don't care. She's gonna be in here anyways.
um well because on here we can't see numbers. So if you want to send it over
Okay, I'll send your text
Instagram
to
or
your
text,
phone.
that will work.
Hey, it says if you in your Zoom meeting click the security icon and then on the bottom toolbar and turn off enable waiting room and only authenticated users can join if it's on.
Well, you know what? We're just gonna rock and roll. I
Um,
appreciate that. I appreciate your help and I appreciate ChatGPT.
yeah, me too. I appreciate it. ChatGPT.
Danielle, I sent you her number. I'm not sure if you got it. Here, I'll notify anyways.
Okay, I did. Thank you so much. And I also appreciate you sharing it with your friend.
Yes. I actually just met her recently on Bumble BFF a few weeks ago. She loves fitness and stuff too. I'm like, she probably would love this.
Bubble BFF.
Yeah. Yes, it's like it's the dating app, but it's to make new friends.
I've been hearing so much about it.
Well, and now it used to be like the dating app and it, so you'd have to switch, but now they just made it a Bumble BFF app. So I'm like, sweet, because I don't like Bumble in general.
That is interesting. No, I'm glad that you got a friend out of it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to send her. Cool. Hopefully that works. Awesome. And then we'll get started soon. Well, now it's okay. Send. Oh, I need. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, my name's Danielle, in case most of y'all don't know, even though you should. Oh, also, Shelby, if she has any issues, you can interrupt me at any time. You're going to see this in my presentation. I love when I love being interrupted. I want you to share your thoughts, your opinions. So in the chat box in this Zoom call, please use it. If you have a question at any moment, you have a thought, you want to say something that you're like, hey, I actually disagree with you. Cool. Put it in the chat box. Or if you've been taught something different, I love communicating. I love talking. I love discussing. And I just want to all use that chat box to expand our minds. I'm also going to share my screen and let's see. First, let me put up the. I want to make sure that I can add people in as I present. Cool. Can you see my screen? I think someone said yes.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, how messy is it? That is crazy. Mental health, right? Okay, cool. Awesome. We'll get started and then I'll admit people. Hopefully I can see that they need to be let in. I think it'll let me. How do we feel normal? That's the whole topic, what we're discussing today. The other day I got a DM and she was just asking questions about how she doesn't feel normal in her skin. She doesn't even know what normal feels like anymore. And I feel like for a lot of us, we get used to feeling inflamed. We get used to having gut health issues. We get used to feeling disgusting in our body, feeling 20 pounds of our weight. We live with the weight. We live with the struggle. We live with brain fog. We live with this certain image of ourselves. We live with the identity that we actually hate everything about our life or about our career, about XYZ. And we just make that our normal and we live with it, right? One thing that, well, I'll get into my story here. You'll see that last year I gained 40 pounds in 3 months. And that was the fastest weight gain I've ever gone through. I've done a lot of bodybuilding shows. I was in a really, really toxic relationship in my bodybuilding career. And when you kind of get lost in the sauce, with your mental health, your physique is going to reflect that, right? So all of last year, January through March of last year, I gained the 40 pounds. I spent the rest of the year trying to lose it. That process of losing it, I tried so many diets. I tried so many things. I was a coach trying things, knowing that I was failing at trying because the mental health, again, was in a horrible spot, leading me to feel bloated, inflamed, puffy. As you can see here, my face was holding so much inflammation, and we're going to get into that. I do want y'all to drop in the chat if you're struggling with fat loss, if you're struggling with bloating, or if you're struggling just to feel like you're just frustrated in your skin. We're all here. We've all been in similar places like that. You might be feeling great today, but last year you might have been in your worst position ever. or you might feel like, hey, I lost myself and I don't know what to do. And so that's what I'm here to lead you through. I want you to have answers. I want you to ask me questions throughout this presentation, literally anything. If a coach has taught you certain things in the past and you're like, you're preaching something different, cool, let's talk about it. Let me explain why. So this is what the chat box is for. I want you to use it. I encourage it. The more that we can be vulnerable with each other and myself, the more that you're going to get out of this call. And trust me, I'm a fan of vulnerability. So we're going to get started. I appreciate y'all being here. And like I said, my story, I'm covering up. Yeah, that's good. We're going to start with my story. So basically, as I said, I did 6 years of bodybuilding, 13 shows, a lot of competing. I started off this whole thing anorexic, and then last year I gained 40 pounds in such a short span of time. So my new normal became being stuck, being overweight, being bloated, being inflamed, not feeling good in my skin. And I truthfully, like, I thought that was going to be my forever. I remember I'm super close to my parents, and every phone call we had last year was about my weight, every single one. So like we call at least twice a week. Like, and so when I say I thought I was stuck, like I really believed it. Backing up to my whole 6 years of bodybuilding, I was struggling with binge eating so much throughout that time on healthy food. Like, I don't know if y'all are from Austin, but there's a place called Delights here. And Delights is basically a low-cal ice cream. Think of a Halo top. I would slam those all the time. And so even when I was in prep at my leanest, I was still so inflamed because I was feeding myself such bad food just to hit macros, but also because I needed to cope some way. And so what we're also going to get into is like a lot of the inflammation and gut health that you're experiencing is due to your mental health. And nobody talks about it. They talk about the low FODMAP, which I'm going to talk about. We talk about the diet. We talk about how you need to, be 100% hustle culture, which I'm all about. But when your mental health is in the trash, you're physically going to see it. Like, that's just how it works. Your body is a representation of your mind. And so a lot of the things that I preach, when at least my athletes know, and I think that you can get a feeling off my Instagram, a lot of things that I preach are going to be due to the mental health, because we get this right, our physique is going to show it. That's my story though. Talked about that. Losing weight, gaining weight. Yeah, okay. So last year, like I said, I spent so much time trying to lose the weight. In January of this year, I said enough was enough. Like, time to be honest with yourself. Like, if you keep trying new diets, obviously you're doing something wrong. Like, you can't, either the diet's not aligned with you or you aren't keeping your word with yourself. Basically, I wasn't keeping my word with myself, and I knew that. Falling off every weekend, but trying to be clean throughout the week, that's not keeping your word to yourself. But it's also like, hey, is the diet actually something that's sustainable for you? A lot of times it's not. That's why you fall off on the weekends. Let's see. Nicole, yeah. Fear of anxiety going backwards. Identity shifting is a big one. Yeah, something that I struggled with majority of this year was recognizing, like, I'm not who I used to be. And so even like when you go through the weight loss, a lot of times if you're 40 pounds overweight, you lose the 40 pounds, right? Or if you're always inflamed, if this is your normal and then you lose the 40 pounds, you lose the inflammation, you still have to kind of recognize, like, your mind sometimes needs to catch up as well. So you might still feel like your past self. You might still feel like you're the loser, the one that's always overweight, the friend that never makes progress, the one that always falls off. So our mindset has to shift with us, even as you make the progress. And that's how you sustain the progress. If your identity doesn't change with you, you are always going to take steps back and gain the weight back, or gain the inflammation back, or find yourself in the toxic relationship again, or whatever it is. Your identity has to evolve with you. Thank you for pointing that out, Nicole. Cool. Okay. I kind of like seeing those. Anyways, okay, before we start, we're going to go through everything that doesn't matter that is preached. So meal times, I think a lot of us have been around for a while within the fitness or follow so many people on Instagram. Meal times don't matter. Whether you have a meal at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect you. Your body doesn't need to have the meal exactly at 9:30 a.m. You're fine. So no, I want to knock that out, because just doesn't play a part. Eating carbs at night also doesn't matter. I would argue that eating carbs at night is very beneficial for your sleep, your melatonin, for getting better sleep, for recovery, especially if you wake up and train in the mornings, like your glycogen. It's eating carbs at night is great. A lot of people think that it's going to affect digestion to be worse. No, I argue against that every time. Sugar from fruit. I eat so much fruit every single day. I eat like 100 grams of sugar every single day, and this is the best I've ever looked. Fruit is your number one carb. I'm going to go over that. Like if you, for any way that you're feeling, fruit, there's so many benefits to eating fruit. It's going to knock your inflammation. There's so much beneficial fiber. There's a lot of water content. So fruit, don't need to be fearful of sugar. Calories from real ingredients like honey is going to be your best friend. We don't need to have artificial. It's your sugar-free syrup, even though it's 5 calories, like get rid of it. Like that's causing so many issues. And I'm mostly in the brain, which I'm going to get to. So what doesn't matter is there. If your diet looks like 6 meals a day, if your diet looks like you're eating super fast throughout the day, you're stressed in eating, you're working and eating, you're driving and eating, you're chugging water as you're eating meals, your caffeine's above 400 milligrams a day, you're skipping meals and skipping breakfast, your diet looks like you're eating Halo Top at night because you want ice cream and you want to also hit your macros. If you're eating protein bars or replacements, all of these things, this alcohol on the weekend, 30 grams of fat or less a day, eating 1,200 calories or less a day, all of these are the reasons why you're inflamed and bloated. So I want you to like really soak that in, because if you've looked at this and you're like, wow, I'm doing that, but it's only one thing on the list, like, but you're here and you're struggling with bloating and you're struggling to feel stuck in your body, like that is why. So we're going to break through those today as well. Yeah, dude. Shelby, I'm glad you're attacked. I'm glad you're attacked. I want you to, yeah, I want y'all to feel something from this. We're gonna get to the sugar-free cameras though. Okay, 6 meals a day. Why does it affect you poorly? It affects your MMC process, which I'm going to dive into the fasting in a minute. Eating super fast or stressed, basically what is going to happen is you are stuffing big chunks of food in your gut. So by definition, you are going to have air stuck in your gut. And that's just like, if you have air stuck in your gut, if your body has to work harder to break down food because you didn't chew it well, of course you're going to have gas. Of course you're going to feel bloated. Of course your stomach's going to be out. Like, what is it supposed to do? And then caffeine intake. If your caffeine is through the roof, like your cortisol is through the roof, your brain inflammation is going to be sky high. Like I don't know if y'all have seen or heard of cortisol face. I don't like using terms like this, but I mean, if your cortisol is that high because your caffeine intake is that high, like your body's going to show it. Like, what do you expect? A lot of times we get pissed off at our body, but it's like you're choosing the actions of which the body is going to reflect the way you're choosing. So yeah, it's going to be puffy and bloated. What do you expect? Like, don't get mad at your body. Get mad at the fact that you just slammed 3 energy drinks in a day. Like, fix that and you're fine, right? Fix our choices. Oh, waiting room, everyone in meeting. Cool. Awesome. Skipping meals. So what happens especially for breakfast, but when you skip meals, our stomach acid is going to increase. And this can also lead to like acid reflux when you have your first meal, which is also why we're going to get into the gut drink, but when we help our body with like something like apple cider vinegar that's diluted, or the gut drink, which we'll get into, it's going to help break down the food that you're putting into your body for your first meal. So skipping meals is just going to make it so much harder on your gut to break down food in general. And then quality of food, which I've talked about a million times, but again, you can't get mad at the fact that your face is puffy when all of your food is full with chemicals. Like, what is your body supposed to do with the chemicals? Probably store them and make you feel like crap. Like, that's just what's going to happen. I used to be a big sugar-free Jello, like put that in my creamy every single night. And even though 3 grams of sugar-free Jello, like you're fine. Like, we don't need to get too particular. Sometimes getting too strict on yourself in those areas can actually just like be worse because your mental health is right? But what happens with xanthan gum and other foods like or ingredients like that is they're thickening. That's why they make the creamy so thick and good. they actually expand, which is going to happen in your gut. So you get bloated from the products like the xanthan gum because it's an expander. So of course it's going to expand within your gut. Makes sense, right? Now, if you have it every once in a while, it's totally fine. But if you're eating it every day and you're wondering why you're bloated at night, like that is why. I've added banana to kind of like, there's thickenings like pumpkin, banana, yogurt, cottage cheese. Yeah, they're going to be a little bit more calories, but at the end of the day, calories don't matter when your quality is going to be the biggest effect on your gut health, your fat loss, and your inflammation. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but also those gums, your body cannot break down. It's a non-digestible fiber. So by definition, that's why it is just so bad for the gut. There we are. Okay. Let's talk about alcohol. Okay, we're gonna get vulnerable. So last year, I was drinking so much that I was in, like I said, a horrible mental spot. I was drinking probably like 4 days out of the week in the beginning of last year for like 3 months, those 3 months that I gained the weight, of course. Alcohol is the biggest thing that's going to cause inflammation. And I argue like my anxiety and mental health has taken a whole different route just because I've decreased my alcohol. I'm not a big fan of, I am a fan of moderation. I'm not a fan of having alcohol every week. I think that that is asking for inflammation and brain fog within your body. So one thing that we're going to talk about too is like, if you experience a lot of anxiety, but you're also drinking even like 1 to 3 glasses every single week, like let's ask ourselves why we're having that. Alcohol is going to be so big for your brain inflammation. And then, oh, that works so much better. I wish I put it down there the first time. That's crazy. Fat intake, eating so little. Fats regulate hormones. If you're a male or female, fats are needed. Your brain needs fats to thrive. If you wonder why you have brain fog, if you wonder why you have no sex life, if you wonder why you have acne, if you wonder why you're so tired all the time, like fats are so important. My number one thing that I did for my weight loss, well, not my number one, that would be a lie. One of the things that I did for weight loss is have like moderate to high fats as my carbs were dropped lower. So I did a lot of fruits for carbs as I was losing weight, but I kept my fats pretty relatively high because fat intake is so important for your hormones, and your hormones are the main drive for your thyroid, but also for your body. Like if your hormones are not in a correct place, if they're imbalanced, you're just not going to make progress in the way you're going to feel like crap. So big on hormones, fat intake, for if you have low fat consistently within your diet for a long period of time, hormone suppression, slow motility, meaning you're not going to the bathroom regularly, increased inflammation, you're going to be bloated, poor bowel flow. So basically your acid reflux, you might experience acid reflux or you're experiencing constipation because your bile flow is low, meaning there's not enough acid to actually break down the food that's in your gut. This can lead to leaky gut, SIBO, because with constipation, what happens is there's actually food particles backed up within your small intestine, which food particles being backed up in your body, no matter where it's at, is not good. But what happens is SIBO. Any questions so far? I feel like I'm just talking. I just want to make sure everyone's like caught up. We're
I
enjoying
have
it.
a question.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it later. But like with the skipping meals, like how does that correlate with like intermittent fasting?
Yeah, definitely going to into it.
Okay.
I love that you asked that. So skipping meals is definitely different than intermittent fasting for one, because if our intention is to skip a meal, that's not fasting. Our intention to skip a meal is more so a mindset of if I skip this, I'm either going to be tighter, lose weight, whatever it is, right? Usually when skipping meals, it's either like a midday meal or a dinner. It's not necessarily like I'm fasting. It's more so I'm skipping a meal and then having another meal later. So it's kind of different. We'll get into the fasting aspect, but does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Because you're kind of like the skipping a meal is kind of like a guilty thing, like
Yeah, no one
mindset.
ever says I'm going to skip a meal because I'm fasting. Unless,
Right, right.
yeah. That's a good question. are you open to being vulnerable? And if not, totally okay.
Yes.
You also can, if I ask the question, you're like, yeah, I don't want to answer that. Cool.
Oh,
Next,
no, you're
like,
good.
I'll like go off my own experience too. Do you struggle with skipping meals?
Not currently, but I definitely used to, where I would kind of either binge eat, like a lot of the times I would binge eat, take a laxative before I quote unquote start like my diet. So I'd like binge eat a bunch of stuff, then take the laxative to make me feel not as bad about it because I'm like acting like, oh, I'm never gonna have these again. Like, but yeah, not currently. I've just been fasting. I've always gone back and forth with fasting.
Okay. We'll get into the fasting aspect. I do want to know if anyone on here is struggling with binge eating, thoughts like skipping meals, just anything that's, not healthy, then my DMs are always open, even my number, my WhatsApp. But like it's very common for a lot of people, including like I've been there where I want to skip meals in the past just because I'm frustrated. I want to lose weight. I want to feel good. And then it does lead to the binge eating because you're just so focused on food all the time. If you're skipping meals, you're restricting yourself from nourishment. And it's also like you're restricting yourself from wanting to eat, right? You want to eat. So what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to let yourself eat. But usually we feel guilty from eating, which makes us, why don't we eat more kind of mindset? And so we keep eating and then we feel guilty for binge eating. So we go back to the component of, okay, well, I just binged or I overate or I ate when I wasn't hungry. So maybe I'll just eat less tomorrow or I just won't have breakfast. And then what happens? You go to dinner and you're like, well, I kind of want to go out with my friends. And then you're starving because you skip breakfast. And so you overeat again. And now we're guilty again. We're shaming ourselves. So we go back to the beginning of, okay, well, Monday, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to cut out everything, go super hard this week. Friday comes around. This is the process. So it's like, that's when I like to rework the mindset. And that's when we go back to the identity of like, food is food. It's always going to be around. Which I'll do another masterclass on like eating disorders, the mindset, the component of how do I get to a place where I look at food and it's just simply food and I'm not like trying to overeat or consumed by it or focused on it. Yeah. Yeah, Nick, if you're open to talking about it too, please, like, I'd love to hear your story on it. But yeah, let me know if you're open to talking about it. If not, cool. But binge eating after a fast that's why I'm not a big fan of fasting for fat loss. Fasting for gut health, we'll get into. Fasting for fat loss is almost so, Shelby, this is where it comes in. Fasting for fat loss is skipping meals for the result of like a toxic binge eating or a toxic like a
Like
mindset per se.
mindset.
Yeah. Awesome, Nick. Go ahead. Put your mic on.
So I would try to fast to lose weight, like you were talking about fasting. Now that I know that fasting is good for the gut, but in the past I would
Okay.
fast for losing weight. And whenever I fast and I got out of my fast, I just couldn't stop binge eating. Like any food that I saw that I just wanted to eat and I couldn't control myself, which made me want to fast even more. And like I said, it's just put me in this like loop. Okay, if I fast more, I could lose more weight. But then I just binge it again. So it's like that back and forth pulling tug of war with the food in your mind and what should I do? It was tough. I
Yeah.
don't struggle as much as I used to because I know that I'm not fasting for losing weight. I'm fasting to reset my gut. So it's that's what I've been struggling in the past and kind of do sometimes.
Yeah, it's easy to get in that mindset, especially when, like, even if your brain's inflamed, which we'll get into, it's easy to get yourself, like, for all of us, into a toxic mindset too, of like, well, if I do this, like, then this will happen and this will happen. And it's easy to trick ourselves and self manipulate to assume, like, oh, I can do it. Like, I could skip a meal or I can fast longer. But it's like, it always bites us in the butt. So I appreciate you sharing your story. I appreciate your vulnerability. And I think too, like, one thing to know, I do this with myself, is I try to be my own mentor. At times, because even I don't know if anyone on here has struggled with an eating disorder in the past, but like binge eating is eating disordered thoughts per se. So you may not have an eating disorder, but you have thoughts and tendencies or habits of the like. It's easy to get yourself back into that mindset, especially when we're in a state of I'm frustrated, I want to feel good. So it's like in that position where you have those toxic thoughts, it's like, okay, what would me feeling good tell myself to do? Probably not binge eat, probably not self-sabotage, probably not fast for this long, probably nourish my body. So maybe I should align with that. But I really appreciate you sharing that, Nick, and anything at all that you have tips on or want to share at any point, please do so. Awesome. Okay. I was clicking around, so I just want to make sure we're on the right. Okay, I talked about alcohol a little bit, but like I said before, alcohol is it's an easy place to convince yourself I'm drinking for as like a social lubricant to feel social and feel like a butterfly and to fit in and feel confident. If you're using alcohol to fit in, to be social, to feel like a good in your skin or to feel confident in general, like that, you're like I said, you're dancing with fire. It's a mask over how you actually feel. So basically, what happens with alcohol is we drink it and it disassociates us with our thoughts, which feels good in the moment. But when you're 4 drinks in and then a hangover the next day, now you have anxiety and now you feel like crap again. So basically, that's where like the balance comes in of like, okay, 1 drink or whatnot. But if you're using it for any of these reasons, it's just it's a toxic place to be because you're masking how you actually feel. But alcohol is the biggest thing when it comes to inflammation as well. Nicole, binging for 3 days after every bodybuilding show. Do you want to talk about that, Nicole? Totally okay.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was normal because everyone would be like, well, you're not, you're gonna have to be on a reverse plan like right after this. So I always would justify it because I'd be like, I'm not gonna have this food for a long time. So I would just go. I mean, I swear, I think after one of my bodybuilding shows, I like surprised myself because I ate like 12, I think, Round Rock donuts like right after like the stage, and then I ate nachos the same night. And what else did I eat? Oh yeah, sushi. Like I want to throw up just thinking about this. I don't know what else I had just in one night. Oh yeah, ice cream and like 2 slices of pizza. And I think there was more, but I'm not gonna go into more detail. It's just gross. But I would justify it and wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'm still like lean, but the after effects don't hit till a little bit later. Um, then gaining weight and then feeling, getting upset at yourself or at a coach saying, oh, like their reverse plan's not working or this and that, but you sat there and binge ate a lot.
Mhm.
And it just got me into a really unhealthy mindset. It was just like a cycle. So I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'm going to go back into a prep. So I'll stay lean. It doesn't matter if I eat or binge eat. It was just a cycle, like
Mhm.
a constant cycle. And now being where I'm at now, I don't understand how I did that. Um, I mean, the cravings were out of control. I don't crave actually anything now. Like I don't crave. I don't think I've had any candy in I don't know how long, but I don't crave that type of sugar. I crave like a lot of fruit,
Mhm. I feel
but
like,
that's basically all I eat is a lot of fruit and things like that. But binging is something I would try to just justify it because like everyone's doing it, it's gonna be okay. But it led to so many issues in my gut, and I never understood why. But I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who've competed can relate to that.
yeah. And I'm definitely going to get into the aspect of binge eating and just what it does to your gut in general, because that's usually when we find a lot of food particles get stuck and leads to SIBO. And then appetite goes down, cravings like in the roof, just all the different things. And bodybuilding, Bodybuilding can definitely affect your mindset towards food. So I am sorry that you went through that. I am glad that you're feeling better now. And I know that a lot of people here can relate to that story and relate to binge eating in general. But at the end of the day, like overconsumption of food constantly does lead to inflammation. And so we'll get into that too. But thank you for sharing that, Nicole.
Yeah, question I do have.
Yeah,
SIBO, is it bloating above the belly or below the belly?
below, lower belly.
Below. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times with SIBO, when you have, I mean, this is with IBS too. If you have severe lower belly, like bloating, distension, hard to the touch, like you touch your lower belly and like it's hard, like you definitely have some IBS or SIBO. So bad bacteria is way overgrown, and that is causing your body to have symptoms like not going to the bathroom regularly, bloating, just all the constipation, brain fog, cravings, not wanting to eat, but below lower belly. Awesome. Even eating clean isn't going to necessarily work if you have things like SIBO. So this is so on topic. Your gut is a place where there is good and bad bacteria. What happens when you have severe lower belly bloating like SIBO or IBS is that, like I said, your bad bacteria is overgrown. And so basically some clean foods actually feed that bad bacteria. And it's like, crap, okay, well, if I'm eating super clean, but I'm still experiencing bloating or still experiencing all these issues, still not going to the bathroom every day, but my diet's so freaking clean, it's probably because the food that you're eating is actually feeding the bad bacteria. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to low FODMAP. Where did I put that slide? We'll go back to these areas. We're going to go low FODMAP. If you want to screenshot this or take a picture, you definitely can. And you look up low FODMAP on Google, and there's going to be so many charts. Some of them will say like, yo, this is good. Some of them will say this same food is bad. This is basically what I like to run things by. A lot of it's going to be testing with your body and seeing if you have a trigger with that meal or that food. Let's see. So with low FODMAP, the reason why I like to add it in is because when you're having foods that aren't going to cause inflammation or cause trigger symptoms, then you're able to assess what's actually causing the trigger in general. So you're going to go low FODMAP for a while, 4 to 6 weeks. This is step number 1 that I did for my body when I was decreasing the inflammation and fixing my gut. Low FODMAP for 4 to 6 weeks to find the triggers. You don't want to stay low FODMAP forever. A lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't I just stay low FODMAP if it's going to be foods that don't trigger my gut? Because you want to be able to eat all foods no matter what and not have inflammation and not have gut health issues. You want to be able to go on a week-long trip to Costa Rica and have whatever food and be able to not be inflamed and not have gut health issues. That is the goal. So yeah, we don't want to stay low FODMAP forever because you want freedom to eat whatever and feel good in your skin. That is I can preach that all day long. But this is step number 1. I write this down. 4 to 6 weeks, low FODMAP. You're going to eat this way. And then we're going to add in different food sources. And I say add in slowly, like anything that you really crave, like add it in and see how your gut reflects. If you get bloated after that meal, see if you feel like you're not going to the bathroom again. So you can see the triggers that are causing you to feel bad in your skin. Now I'm going to go back because I did put that slide in a bad place. Stress and regulation, stress regulation, being a human in today's time, we all get it. We're all stressed. We have things on our plate. We have jobs, we have careers, we have so much. Like I said in the beginning of this presentation, if you're stressed and eating, if you are chugging water, or you can't chug food, but I guess eating super fast, Your body's just gonna have a hard time breaking down your food, and that's why you feel constipated. That's why you feel bloated, and that's why you end up with things like SIBO, because your body's just like, I can't pass this through, so we're gonna hold on to it. When you're actually stressed, your body's not prioritizing your digestion. So recognize after a very hard training session, you come home and you're like, dude, I'm not hungry. I don't know why I should be hungry. I just killed myself in the gym, but I'm not hungry. Your stress is so high. Your body's doesn't care about digestion at this point. So in those times, I like to do the deep breathing. I always deep breathe, like 5 deep breaths before starting a meal, eating a meal. Movement is going to be helpful for your gut, and then meditation. If you can calm your nervous system like at any point, your gut and digestion is going to be so much better. A lot of people struggle with gut and inflammation simply because their nervous system is so wrecked because they're just stressed all the time. We're addicted to stress. We feel when there's peace, when there's calmness, we're like, okay, well, we're not solving anything. I'm not stressed. What's wrong? We look for it. So it's like, how can we get ourselves in a place to just recognize I can be calm? The breathing is going to be a big one there. Okay, I kind of said this in the beginning, but who here is really struggling with bloating right now? Like if you're like, damn, like I'm feeling like this week, it's been bad. Roberto, Julie, yeah. Yeah, okay. Bloating is not fun. One thing that is not preached enough is like, I've seen this on Instagram and I disagree with it. When they say bloating is normal, what do you mean? I don't want to be bloated in my body. Like, no, it's not normal. You're not supposed to be bloated. If you're bloated every week, that's not normal. If you're bloated every day, that's certainly not normal. We need a chalk. Well, I want to talk to all of y'all, but if you're bloated every week, if you're bloated bi-weekly, like bloating is not normal. Fullness and bloating are different. Bloating, extension, feeling uncomfortable in your body, like you feel, you press your gut and it's hard. You can feel air bubbles in your gut. You're not going to the bathroom. If you eat a meal and you're like, damn, I'm full, like that's not bloating. You just ate a big meal. But a lot of us struggle with bloating and we don't really realize it. Because a lot of times too, we think that it's just body fat. In reality, like that's inflammation and bloat. A lot of people, when they start a cut, the first 5-10 pounds is just inflammation and getting that off the body. Yeah, so you're at the end of the day, your body, I mean, your stomach has food in it and water in it, so it's going to be a little bit more extended versus the morning when there's nothing in it. But if you're feeling like, hey, I haven't gone to the bathroom today, my lower belly is hard to the touch, my upper belly looks like if your upper belly is sticking out, like there's something up with the gut there. So, all right, let's dive into my system. This is exactly what I did for fat loss. Oh, wow. That's great. For fat loss, for bloating, for inflammation, how I healed, what I do, going from constantly inflamed, like constantly. I would wake up like 24/7 to not feeling inflamed in my body. And the biggest thing here too is to a degree, when you go out to eat, yes, new foods, like you're going to feel a little bit different versus your foods at home, right? You shouldn't be coming home bloated. You shouldn't be coming home inflamed. And especially if you're eating like a proper amount of food. If you're going ham, like of course you're going to come home bloated. But if you're eating till you're full or satisfied, like you should not be coming home bloated or inflamed. So low FODMAP, we talked about this. You're going to do this for 4 to 6 weeks. Gut cocktail, which I'm sure you've seen me preach like everywhere. I'm going to die with this thing on my grave for real. Okay, gut cocktail. I want you to write this down or screenshot it or something. I've talked about it a million times. First thing every single morning, preferably if you could have this drink as soon as you wake up, before fasted cardio, before you do anything, like wake up, make this drink, put it in the fridge the night before if you need to. 10 grams of glutamine, 2 cracks of iodine or pink Himalayan salt, apple cider vinegar, 10 to 15 grams, 2 ounces of lemon juice. It tastes like crap, so you're going to want to put in some flavor. The best flavor, I'm telling you, like the Propel Kiwi Strawberry Pack will make the drink actually enjoyable. A lot of other flavors will not. It's not going to taste good, but it is going to work 100% of the time. I promise you that. I've had so many people say 3 days in, they're like, dude, I don't even know. Like, it's just working. Something's happening. And I'm like, trust me, this drink works. separately later in the day, or you can have honestly the bone broth at any time. It doesn't really matter when you have the bone broth, but that's going to be really helpful for you as well, especially for your collagen. But the gut health drink you're going to want to have before meals, I say 40 minutes or more. I honestly like the reason why you have it before all your meals is because it's going to help the gut break down the meal. So even if you're going out for a free meal too, I'd also say add in apple cider vinegar or this gut health drink in general, because it's going to help increase the bile and acidity to help break down the meal that you're eating. So having that first thing before your entire day starts is only going to help digestion throughout the entire day. Any questions on that? Oh, I'm glad you, Tyler, good to see you, man. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned this. So I took out the aloe vera juice recently. I was having some discomfort with it, and I've also had some people it doesn't sit well, some it does. So, I mean, that's with a lot of things, but I increased the glutamine instead. So basically aloe just helps the intestines and the body, and the gut. Yeah, Julie, go ahead and ask your question. And you can also ask in the chat as well. But I took out the aloe vera juice, increased the glutamine to 10 grams. You can't really overdo glutamine. So if you go to 15 grams, that's totally fine as well. I wouldn't go to 30, like that's unneeded. But yeah. So, I mean, aloe gel. So when you're getting any aloe drink, you're gonna also want the whole leaf. And there's one of the like enzymes within the leaf doesn't always sit well, which is what causes the discomfort within the gut from the aloe vera. So it's just like give and take. If you don't have any bad experiences with it, then you can add it in. It's just gonna coat the gut. But do you drink just, oh, good question. So I drink it, yeah, one time in the morning. And then if I am going out to eat free meal, or if I know like I'm gonna have a big meal, even if it's like steak at home, but it's a lot of steak, I'll have the apple cider vinegar with water because you want to dilute it before the actual meal. What happens if you have apple cider vinegar alone is actually it can burn your esophagus because of the acidity being so high. So that's why you always want to dilute it with water. I mix it in this whole drink because, well, why take all these separate, put them in a drink together? And then you can have this drink more than once a day. I don't think 3 times a day, that's too acidic on the body. This drink is very acidic. So you don't want to overdo it. I would say 1 time a day in the morning. And then sometimes if you're going out for a free meal, you can do it again before the free meal. It's totally fine. Beef bone broth warmed up. You want to warm up. Bone broth is so good warmed up. Do you add any water to this drink? So good. You know what? I missed to add, I should have wrote that down. Yes, I do add water. I put this all in a shaker bottle and then I fill the rest with water. Shake that thing up, drink it, put some ice in it. Tyler, don't listen to Tyler. Tyler makes jokes. Put water in it for sure. Yep, awesome. Increases stomach acidity. You want L-glutamine. Very good questions. Okay, gut cocktail done. You can always ask questions at any point. Okay, how do I move this down? Put it over my face. Perfect. Let's talk about fasting. Let's talk about the MMC process. MMC, migrating motor complex, it's our cleaning cycle. So what it's going to do is when we're fasting, it's going to help clean out the gut. When we are constantly eating 6 meals a day, snacking, even if we're hitting our macros, your gut is not going to have this process happen. So we're not cleaning out the cycle. That is why SIBO becomes such a common issue when people have so many meals throughout the day. People go and have like snacks. They're just snacking all day long. Well, usually our body isn't having a clean out per se, a migrating motor complex process happen, which is going to cause things like SIBO or more bloating to happen. Oh yeah, I wanted to see how many people have been told like eat 6 meals a day for your metabolism, because that was such a hot topic getting into fitness, was like, you got to eat the 6 meals a day. And it's like, no, we don't. Let's not do that. For me, I want you to write this down too. 3 to 4 meals a day when you're healing your gut, when you're healing your body from a lot of inflammation. And I'd argue no matter what you're going through, whatever your goal is, 3 to 4 meals a day is good. 5 if your schedule's super long. 6 is just a lot on the gut. Like you don't need to put 6 meals a day. It's just a lot for your digestive health. The MMC process activates 90 to 120 minutes after eating, and it's only in a fasted state. So basically, throughout the night is when it really happens, which is why I'm such a big fan on fasting for multiple reasons. We'll get into it, but it allows the process to happen around 3 times throughout the night, which is very good for your gut health to get out the waste. 3 to 4 hours between meals is going to be best for this process and for your gut as well. So write that down. 3 to 4 hours between every meal. You do not need to eat every 2 hours. Your body is fine. Your brain is fine. You are fine. On top of that, usually when we're eating so much, we become even more food focused because it's like, oh, 2 hours in, I got to eat again. 2 hours, I got to eat again. And then you're constantly eating all day. And it's like, dude, you can spend that time building a career, building whatever that you would rather spend, like actually utilize that time in a better spot. Old school, yeah, bodybuilding mentality for sure. Fasting, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about fasting with hormones as well. Basically, the 4 main components that I love for fasting is it activates what we just talked about, the MMC process. It reduces inflammation in the gut lining because of not having so much digestive stress going on. It's going to limit overgrowth because there's less stress and less, you're having the migrating motor complex clean things out. So there's less just particles sitting there. And then overall, it's better digestion. Because there's better digestion, you're going to have better nutrient absorption and your gut's going to be less inflamed, aka your body's going to be less inflamed. Your gut is a center of a lot of things. So if you're experiencing face inflammation, usually you experience gut inflammation. If you're experiencing acne, usually there's something off with the gut. If you're experiencing, like, it all goes back into the gut. Yep. When you're eating so much, it's literally because your job is like to eat, and it's like, wait a sec, I'm not getting paid for this. Like, come on, if I'm gonna eat, if I'm gonna eat that much, I don't need to get paid. Okay, I'm gonna drop in the chat at the end of the call my cycle syncing doc for y'all if you haven't had it yet. But basically, if you're a female on here, we're going to talk about fasting for your hormones. So for anyone, I say around 12 hours, and I honestly like to run this 12 hours, like the 12-hour fast pretty much every single day for any day of the month. Like I do it all the time. I think it's very healthy. 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. is kind of realistic. Like, it's a good time frame for fasting and eating a meal and feeling good in your body and skin and with your brain as well. If you can't do the 12 hours every single night, totally cool. 2 to 4 times a week. At least if we have 2 to 4 fasts a week, we will be good. And this includes the night. I don't like day fasts. I don't like we don't need to fast throughout the day. What are we doing that for? That's your brain needs energy. Your brain uses, I think it's 20% of your daily caloric intake. Like that's crazy. Your brain, simply alone, the harder that you focus on something, the more energy that your brain uses. Your calories that you're eating isn't just going to your body, it's going to your brain. That's why, like, it's so important. Fats, especially, it's ketones. That's what your brain utilizes, ketones as energy, which what fats as well help with. So if you're doing like a big test or exam, aka Jessica, if you're doing a big test or exam, having fats before you do your exam is going to really help as well with focus. So hormonal issues, good point. And I'm not reading into this. I'd stress. Yeah. So basically, this is why I do the cycle syncing with the fasting. If you are in your follicular phase, you don't want to do a super, or you do want to do a super long fast. If you're in your luteal phase, you don't want to do a super long fast in your luteal phase. If you have hormonal stress or you're coming off like birth control or something of the like, I actually take out the fasting within the luteal phase completely. And I will only do the fasting around the 2 to 4 times in the follicular phase. Yeah. And if you have more questions on this too, you can continue to ask because I'm more than happy to educate. But I'm really big for the women on here at syncing your cycle with everything that you do. It's so important. I'll drop that link to the PDF after the call. Okay, we're gonna be real though. How are we feeling? Do y'all like the information? Are you learning something? Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad. My whole, like, when I tell y'all, I was so excited and still am I just want y'all to learn. I'm so excited to be here, to chat with y'all. So thank you for coming again. And I'm glad you're learning something here. Ooh, good question. So if you stop eating at 7 p.m., how many calories should be in that last meal before your fast? And the answer is it doesn't really matter. I know such a boring response, but honestly, like I don't know if you're macro tracking, you put in the chat if you're macro tracking intuitively eating meal plan or whatever it is. If you're hungry, eat a balanced meal. That's going to make you feel the best. I'm going to get to the fruits, but fruits are going to be amazing, right? As your a main carb source. But if you're hungry, eat a balanced meal. We like craving sweet potato, cool. You're craving beef, cool. You're eating craving steak. Like I think at the end of the day, it's much less how many calories should I eat. It's much so what meal is going to make me feel good in my body and skin right now. There's not a certain number that matters before your fast because you're fasting throughout the night, not the day. We do no fast throughout the day. Nope. If you get anything from that slide, no fasting throughout the day, fasting throughout the night, which you're asleep. So hopefully you're not sleep eating. If you are, it's a whole nother topic. Okay, let's be real. When I was going through my trying to diet last year, I was just in a horrible place mentally. Like brain was inflamed. I went through that. When your brain's inflamed, you're going to think you're sad, you're going to think you're depressed, and you might be sad and depressed. But for example, when I go out and have alcohol or some like now it's more balanced, but even 2 drinks and maybe I'll have maybe it's Mexican night, right? I know that the meal is, well, I had alcohol and I know the meal's usually not what I usually eat. My brain sometimes the next day I can feel it's inflamed. That causes me to feel more anxious and sad. That's why people have anxiety when they drink, right? Sometimes you might be depressed, but sometimes you're not depressed, your gut's off, or your brain is inflamed. If we can fix your brain being inflamed, if we can fix your body inflamed, I promise you, your mental health is going to feel so different. Like it's crazy how much it ties together. So you're not an emotional wreck, or you are an emotional wreck, but it does come from the brain being inflamed. Like you're gonna be able to have so much more clarity. Booze blues. Well, I've never heard that one. That's a good one. Noted, no fasting through the day. Yeah, scream that to the top of your lungs. Oh, good question. Chewing gum causes inflammation if you're having a pack a day. So what happens when we chew gum? When you're chewing gum, a lot of times we're sucking in air because we're chewing, right? But nothing's going down our throat. But a lot of times we're sucking in air and that's what gets stuck within our gut. And then we experience like either burping or air stuck in our gut. So gas. Two pieces. Like now I chew gum and I don't have any issues. Before in the past, when I had gut health issues already, it was horrible for me. So if you have bloating already happening, get rid of the gum. It's not helping you. If you don't really have bloating happening, if your digestion's good, like the gum's okay, but we don't need to be having 3+ pieces a day, in my opinion. Or 3 different sections. If you have 3 pieces in one sitting, like that's different. But if you're having like gum after every meal, that's more of a habit. So I like to, if that is you, I know an athlete in the past used to struggle with that. We went to mints. Okay, let's switch it to mints because mints are different than gum, right? But you're also still putting something orally in your mouth and it's like a habit. Great question. Okay, fats in our brain. Fats in our brain. Your brain and your diet. We need fats in the morning. Fats, like I said, going to be the biggest thing. Fats will lower your inflammation. If you are not eating enough fat, you will experience inflammation. Your gut and your body, no matter who you are, needs fats. So if you're a woman on here eating 30 grams or less of fat a day, we need to fix that. That's horrible. That is so bad for you. Honestly, like your hormones are screaming for you to eat more. So what we're going to first do, if you're a woman eating more or eating less or at 30 grams a day, is we're going to increase that to 40 grams a day immediately. You're going to leave this call with 10 extra grams of fat. So yay. But we need at least 40 grams a day as a woman. Your hair, your skin, your hormones, your everything, if your hair is thinning and your fat intake's 30 grams, that's why. Like that's one thing that I used when I was going through like my mental health and I needed to eat more and I needed to feel my body better. It's like, hey, think about your health in terms of your hair, in terms of your beauty, in terms of your skin, in terms of your acne. When you think about it in that way, much less like how much fat am I physically holding? It's like, okay, well, I want my hair to be thicker And that's always been a goal, and grow longer, which means I should probably actually eat in a way so my body can produce that to happen. Mineral water. Okay. Oh, back to, yeah, so the gum, I'm glad that you just quit. That's awesome. Yeah, when it comes to struggle, I always say cold turkey is better just because it's easier than temptation, right? And then you come back to like chewing gum and it's like, oh, well, one piece, maybe one every 3 months, and it's all good. Mineral water. Never, oh, there is never a dumb question ever, ever. So I'm a big fan. There's so many mineral waters out there. I'm a big fan of coconut water as like the best hydration water per se. Um, but if you have a certain brand, I think mineral, like there's nothing negative about mineral water. Do you absolutely need it? No. You can get everything that you need from your diet for any goal that you have. But is there benefits to having more minerals? In a sense, yeah. For men, well, this is for women as well, testosterone plays a big part, but for men, testosterone is much higher, right? That's why y'all have like hair on your chin and whatnot, thicker voice, that, like all these different things. But for both of y'all, if your hormones, if your fat intake so low that your hormones are suffering from it, your drive is going to, like in testosterone low, your drive is going to be low as well. So if you're like, hey, like I just don't have any drive in life, and like, but your fat intake is low, that's why. Like, let's increase our fats. Any questions on fats? Cool beans. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this question. Very good. Gallbladder removed, lower fat diet. That does make sense for sure. I would love if you could put in chat. Oh, you did. 25 grams of fat a day. And you use a spoonful of coconut oil to get the fat in. Okay. I'd love to hear. So you experience, yeah, you need more fat for your hormones, even if you have your gallbladder removed for sure. I would honestly, because you're at 25 grams a day, don't immediately go to 40 per se. I would, since you have your gallbladder removed, I would slowly increase that like to 30 grams right now. And then I'd love to chat with you after just to hear more about what you're currently eating throughout the day, because I want to see like the what your meals look like. So yeah, we'll chat. That's a very good question though. Speaking of water, how different things, how much consumption, what do you, a gallon or more a day? Especially because if we all work out, like when you're sweating more, XYZ. So I would say a gallon, give or take, of water a day. Rest days, so important. Rest in general for your body. Like if you're experiencing inflammation, but you're not resting, well, of course, you're going to continue experience inflammation because your body is in a constant state of fight or flight. Fight or flight is going to be the biggest thing in terms of why you can't lose fat, why your body wants to hold on to fat, why your body wants to hold on to gut health issues, why your body wants to hold on to inflammation. So I always protocol 2 rest days a week minimum. If you're not doing that, like 100% all of us should be taking 2 rest days a week minimum. This was my face last year, very inflamed, very puffy. And this was my face the other day. So who here is currently or has struggled with face inflammation or even brain inflammation? I love to drop it in the chat. And then Nicole, yes. Yeah, electrolytes, very important. PCOS, yeah, Nikki. Very common. Okay. Face, yeah, very inflamed. So systemic brain inflammation, this is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about. Basically, inflammation in your body will spread to your brain. So this is when you experience like, oh, well, I'm depressed, and like you might be depressed, but I guarantee you a lot of it's because your brain's inflamed. And so the chronic stress on the body, that's why we need rest days. Your diet being super low quality foods, or even low quality in terms of, or low calories, low fat, gut issues, the weekly alcohol consumption. This is all going to affect your brain inflaming. I posted about this the other day, but basically, I don't know if y'all have seen. There's this video, and it's like two pools, kiddie pools where toddlers get into, and like rats are inside, and rats have to, one is being fed wholesome food, the other is being fed trash, like processed food, sugars. And the rat's job is to see how long it takes to get out of the kiddie pool to find its way out. The one being fed trash food and processed food all the time, I don't even know if it drowned or just couldn't find its way out. Like it was struggling. The one being fed wholesome food got out of the kiddie pool pretty fast. That is a pure representation of how our brain works. That is exactly why when I say like when we eat like trash in terms of quality, what do you expect your brain to do? It's going to make you feel anxious. It's going to make you feel inflamed. It's going to make you feel depressed. The rats are us. That's our great example. Okay. Food swaps. I wanted y'all to have this. If you want to screenshot it, I'm also can send you the picture of it. Calories are throwing them out the trash. Like when you start actually feeling your body, when you feel good in your skin, you don't even care about calories. You just feel good in your skin, right? But the only way to feel good in your skin is by having good quality food. So a lot of times you'll see like, well, I have a Halo top that's 330 calories versus like I can have 1 pint of ice cream versus 1 serving. Okay, but eat that pint of ice cream, and I promise you, the next 4 days you're going to not like how you feel. Happens every time, right? So food swap, huge chocolate is the best. Bee's knees, yeah. Recently I have gone to a grass-fed protein powder. World of a difference. I used to use Ghost because Ghost has great flavors, right? And then I suddenly started using like Promix and or not Noble Juice, that's coffee, Noble Protein. I instantly feel so much different. So I would highly suggest doing grass-fed. Okay, fruits in all meals, main carb source. When you're healing your body, healing your gut, healing inflammation, fruit is your number one best friend. You cannot overeat sugar when it comes to fruit. Don't worry about the sugar content. Like eat fruit. It's going to help you. Pineapple is great to help break down meats. Pineapple with steak is going to actually help the meats digest easier. So that's something I didn't put in here. You can actually have like a good amount of berries, especially in the morning, and it won't spike your insulin. I think it's around 100 grams. And so if you're someone here watching insulin being spiked as well. And then recently I've been doing for an insane pump hack. I wanted y'all to have this insane pump hack. Write it down. It's insane. It's you have red meat, steak, whatever it is, beef, steak, I don't care what it is. Have 1 to 2 servings, whatever servings amount. Add anything with vitamin C. So a large orange, sweet potato, usually orange fruits and veggies. The color orange fruits and veggies have a good amount of vitamin C. So a large orange, salt, you can have your carbs, whatever else with it, and a red meat, because red meat has high iron. If you pair that together, the vitamin C actually helps the iron be absorbed within the body and the bloodstream, as I wrote here, and you're going to see an insane pump the next day. I promise you that. Oregon protein. I think the protein powder that you said here, I think I see it in the stores all the time, and I don't think I've ever tried it just because I'm very clean when it comes to my protein powders. Now on the back, like minimal sources, grass-fed, I promise you, you're going to feel so good in your skin. Caffeine intake, talked about this a little bit. Matcha is going to be your best friend when it comes to the first caffeine drink that you should have in the morning. I arguably say is matcha because there's a slower process in which the caffeine actually hits your body and brain, your bloodstream. So that being said, if you have coffee right when you wake up, we need to fix that immediately. You have a natural cortisol spike in the morning. You wake up, you have a natural cortisol spike. You want to utilize that before you add in your coffee because you want to feel the effects of your coffee. Have an hour between your wake and before your first caffeinated drink because you want that natural spike. That way you actually feel the coffee hit when the coffee hits and later in the day or the matcha, whatever it is, right? Coffee is very acidic. That's going to aggravate the stomach. This is why people say don't have coffee on an empty stomach because it's very acidic, acid reflux. Personally, sometimes I think having in like a Malk is such a good brand of milk can help reduce the acidity within the coffee. And then something that I also like to do is MCT oil, which is also in coconut oil. or coconut oil. MCTs are in coconut oil, but MCT oil, coconut oil, or a full fat dairy is going to help the brain because of the MCTs, which are medium chain fatty acids in the oil. This is going to really help your body in general. I like to put the oil in the coffee or the matcha. Tastes amazing. But again, fats with your caffeine in the morning is going to be good. Have coffee after I wake up. It's like a hug in a mug. I love that. Coffee in a hug in a mug. Matcha tastes like the ground. I will argue you need to get strong coffee matcha immediately. I'm telling you, I'm addicted to that matcha. And it has protein in it, has MCT oils, it has adaptogens. One thing I didn't talk about on here because it's really hard to find adaptogens within coffee. Strong Coffee brand, which I can send all of y'all, insane. Their adaptogens within their coffee lattes or their matcha. Literally, I feel like a different human when I have that versus regular coffee. No jitters, like brain's super focused because of the adaptogens, the lion's mane. It allows you to think about when you have coffee and you're like kind of focused, but you're kind of jittery, but you kind of like you can like focus, but you can also like do nothing with the adaptogens. So switching to a healthier type of caffeine intake, you're actually just going to feel like you want to focus and not feel all the jitters. Okay, Shelby, we need to fix this immediately. Wake up, drink coffee in a mug. Switch that coffee out for my gut cocktail, and I promise you, you will be thanking me later. Does it get the bowels moving well? Yeah. So, I mean, the matcha, yeah, for sure. The gut cocktail is all you need to worry about. Like if you leave this call, write down that gut cocktail. And if you don't write it down, you're going to see it on my post tomorrow, probably. But matcha still has caffeine. Matcha has around 75 milligrams of caffeine, which is similar to like 1 cup of coffee per se. So it's roughly the same, but the matcha releases slower. So if you like your coffee will hit faster, but they both still have caffeine. Yeah, so honey in my coffee. So I'm also I'm totally cool with stevia. I don't think we need to be using 15 stevias in a day, but we don't need like one or so, three aren't going to hurt you throughout the day. Sugar-free syrup, we don't need that. That is literally chemicals. Literally look at the back. It says chemicals. I'm not even kidding. Some of the ingredients on the back of these say chemicals. It's absolutely insane. Like that should be on a soap bottle, not our freaking product. Yeah, honey in my coffee, maple syrup goes a long way. I know people are like, oh, maple syrup has so many calories, but you don't need that much maple syrup in your coffee to actually taste it. And it'll make you feel better too. Oh my gosh, yeah, do that gut cocktail. Okay. A lot of this was a lot. I was writing this out and I was like, damn, they're gonna be like, dude, this is so much information. I don't even want to like fix anything. I get it. There's so much on Instagram. There's so much in this PowerPoint. There's so much out there. Like, what do I do? I'm overwhelmed. I'm lost. I don't even know what the frick. I just want to feel good. If you take away anything, I just want you to do this. The gut cocktail drink. I promise you, if you only do that one thing after this call, I promise you, you will feel immediately different. Like, I will die with that. Quality foods. One thing that helped me understand, like, because saying, oh, I'm just going to buy better quality food can seem like, okay, well, you go a week and you're like, well, I'm back to my Quest chips. If you just go a meal at a time, not so much, I need to change everything right now. Just go a meal at a time. Like dinner, instead of having this quality, I will just switch your sauces around. Like switch one thing over time, it adds up. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate that. Yeah, going to buy that stuff ASAP. You better chop chop. Oh, good. Which L-glutamine do you use? I can send a picture. Oh, no worries. So I did not add like the brand in here. You can find L-glutamine anywhere. Quality is also important. I would say any high quality supplement, grass-fed brands per se will usually have a also high quality glutamine. So I'm not sure if Promix has one. I know that Noble Protein, I don't think they do, but when they do, that will be my first recommendation. I use Eminent right now, so I can send that over. And then picture of the matcha too. Oh yes, for sure. I can't believe I didn't add it in here. I'll send you all the matcha. Um, okay, there's so much focus on, overwhelms me. Gut drink, quality food, focus one day at a time, one meal at a time. Rest days and sleep, your number one rest friend. I really want to hammer this home because, for example, every single time I take a rest day, I don't like the scale use, but I'm going to use this as an example. I'm always lighter in weight. Your body needs to decrease inflammation. It needs it to feel lighter. It needs it to feel tighter. It needs it to heal your gut. It needs it to heal your brain fog, like everything. The lower inflammation, the better you will feel, the better you will heal, the better you will progress, the more fat loss you will have, the skinnier, I hate that word, the tighter you will look, the leaner you will look, whatever you want to say. Anything beneficial that you want to achieve, the lower inflammation, the better. Rest days and sleep, hammer that home. Limiting alcohol, you don't need alcohol every single week. If you struggle with like needing it to feel confident, to feel like a social buzz, to feel like you can be free, to fit in, I talk about this every single day with my people. I literally send voice memos all day long talking about alcohol. Please come to me. Let's chat. Let's talk about it. I have so many tips and tricks and plans and like things. If you don't want your friends to know that you're not drinking, cool. This is what I do. Like this is what you can do. I have so many tips. Please come to me. And then on top of that, the free meals, the binge eating, we need to be real with ourselves. If you are trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lower your gut inflammation, if you're trying to just feel good in your skin, but you're having a weekend off every single week and it's leading you to binge eat or overdo it or feel like crap, that is draining. Put it this way. Okay, it's Friday. You have a free meal. You feel like crap. Free meals, you binge eat, right? Free meals are okay. You binge eat on Friday. You feel like crap on Saturday, and then you're still inflamed on Sunday, but you're ready to get back on Monday. Okay, so it's Monday. You're feeling good. Tuesday hits. Then it's Wednesday. You're kind of feeling stressed, but you're doing good. And then it's Thursday. You're like crap. I'm feeling like I'm so like discouraged, and then you binge eat again. This process, it takes like 3 to 4 days for your body and your mind to be uninflamed from binge eating. That's 3 to 4 days every single week. That's like 16 days a month. That's half a month of you feeling guilty and feeling inflamed from binge eating. That is a lot of time. So if you're struggling with binge eating, if you're struggling with how to control free meals, if you're struggling with alcohol, message me. Okay, thank you for sending the glutamine link in the chat. Awesome. Broken up sleep cycle or just taking oh, this is good. Oh, it's good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, sleep cycle. So REM sleep, I think, is a good one if you have to break up your sleep cycle because you're breastfeeding or if you are working like shifts at night. I think a good thing to, I don't know if you have a good thing to focus on. I don't know if you have a ring is like your REM sleep. So how is the quality of your sleep, even if the duration isn't that long? I would focus more so on that. Magnesium glycinate is going to be a very good supplement to use to calm the body. I would start around 200 milligrams there, and then that's just going to calm the body, taking it 30 minutes before you go to bed. No, you're not just taking an L. None of us are taking an L if schedule routines off. Let me re-say that. None of us has taken an L if schedule and routine isn't aligned. There's always a way to do things to match your routine and schedule if needed because of work in order to best help your body and sleep cycle. And then fruit as your main carb source. That is the last point that I wanted on the pillars. And that's like the protocol that I use for myself. It's crazy too, because I know that people are like, well, how many calories did you eat? Like, did you track macros? Honestly, no. The last 3 months of my dieting, which is where I lost the most weight, I didn't track a single thing because I didn't want that mindset anymore. I didn't want so no. We're gonna go into a Q&A here, and I'm going to, how do I stop share? Cool. And then I also would like to, I know there's a way to like put all of y'all's faces in one together. If anyone knows how to do that. I saw it a minute ago. Oh, breakout rooms. Oh no, that's not it. Is it it? Do we know? No.
No, you'll want to go in views. So it's like corner
Oh,
right.
you are
I think.
awesome. gallery. Amazing. How are we feeling? Hopefully we feel good. I'm feeling good. Did y'all learn something?
Yes.
Feel free to, oh, so you can talk now. I want it, you can keep your, like, what do you call that? Your video off if you want, but I also love to see faces. So if you want to put it on, put it on. You can talk now. I want to answer questions via you speaking. If you're comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable, put it in the chat. But I love to answer questions or just chat through things via face-to-face and speaking. Does anyone have any questions? None? Wow. I'm honestly so shocked. Wow. I also appreciate all of y'all on here more than you know. This is the first masterclass I've ever done, and it just means a lot to me. And I plan to do a lot more of them. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh, I have a question.
Awesome. Let's hit it.
What are your thoughts on, I mean, because I know Sierra, like the gut labs or like, I guess seeing what's actually like wrong internally.
Yeah. I think that they're great. I don't think it's the first like route to go down. I think if you have been experiencing a ton of issues for a long period of time, that yes, like and things aren't helping. Like you've done gut health protocols, you've done a lot of them. Then yes, it would be helpful to get that a Dutch test. I think blood work should be before a gut health test. Blood work always number one because you want to see where your hormones are at as well. A lot of times we have gut health issues just because our hormones are off too. And when you have gut issues, you usually have hormone issues. So you want to have blood work done first, which we should all get just because we want to be healthy, right? So to answer your question, blood work before any gut health tests. You don't necessarily need a gut health test. I would say first try a gut health protocol, hire a coach that you know that will can educate you and take you through like, hey, you're experiencing this for this reason. Whatever it is, like educating you and taking you through the process of what it looks like to heal your gut. And then if things aren't working, like usually they will bring it up to you. Let's get a good coach will bring it up to you. You won't have to ask them in the process. But does that answer your question?
Yep.
All right, Nikki. Oh no, nothing's too complex. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I could argue both points. I think that gut health and PCOS, oh, let me admit, they definitely correlate. I think that is one caused by the other, not necessarily, but usually if someone has PCOS, they should also have a lot of gut issues, a lot of inflammation issues, a lot of XYZ. So a lot of the symptoms are together. You said, yeah, autoimmune and gut issues, both inflammation, correct. Yeah. No more questions. Wow.
One real quick, if that's okay. What about electrolytes or anything like that?
Electrolytes, yeah. So not needed, beneficial. There's nothing bad that you're gonna get. It's really hard, especially if you're sweating a lot and you live in a hot like place. Like it's really you're losing a lot of salt, so you gotta replenish that somehow. You can get everything you need from fruit, from wholesome ingredients, from eating red meats, like eating a variety of diet. Now, I will say this, like it's healthy to have a variety of diet because you want to have different minerals and vitamins from all these different foods. If you're in a place of I have horrible gut health issues and eating clean is even causing me to be bloated and you have SIBO, XYZ, then your diet's going to be a little bit lower because we're trying to figure out what foods are causing the inflammation. At that point, then yes, electrolytes in a form of a drink are going to be much more beneficial because you're not really intaking enough of those minerals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. The only reason why I asked is because I do a lot of like working out and stuff like that too. So the only thing I'm like, dang, especially in Austin, it's really hot, and I'm like, sometimes I either go between BPN or sometimes I've seen that if I don't do the sugar added, sometimes I don't get as bloated. But that's the thing too that I was asking. I was like, do you have anything? Sometimes for a little while I was doing the pink Himalayan salt and lime with honey, the
Sounds
natural way too. But I was like, dang, it doesn't really feel as like the pump as good as if I was taking like liquid IV or something like that too. But I was like, maybe you have some that you would
yeah.
normally take.
So I love liquid IV. I hate drip drop. I think drip drop's horrible. It tastes like crap. So no one buy that. Liquid IV is good. I would say the reasons probably why you feel like the pump is better with those products is because there's a lot more of each like mineral in terms of the micrograms or milligrams, whatever amount of each thing in it together. So it's
Okay.
like, okay, the honey plus the lime plus the salt is awesome. And it may be all that you need, but the pump might be not be the same because it doesn't have like 1,000 of XYZ, like other
Yeah,
in it,
I
right?
agree.
But I would say liquid IV is probably the best one that I've found. I think that I haven't really BPNs everywhere. I've honestly never tried BPN. I have tried honey packs, like the ones that you suck.
The
But
one from Promix is pretty good too. It's not as sweet as Liquid IV, but it tastes a lot cleaner. The quality of it is really nice.
Promix is a great brand for anything. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then LM&T, someone put that in the chat too. That one's pretty good too. I'd say Liquid IV and LM&T are pretty equal for me if I'm putting on a scale. Everything else is like pretty low, except for Promix is a good brand in general. Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, that answers everything.
Oh, great. Very happy to hear that. And then I'd also say too, if you're looking for supplements, like, man, gotta love Ghost, gotta love products like that. I mean, companies like, but companies that are that big, sometimes they don't have quality per se. So if they get a lot of flavors, like even First Form, like a lot of flavors, you can look at the back of the package, like of things, and it's a lot of chemicals or a lot of additives. I'm not saying be scared of it, like eat it. If it doesn't affect you, cool, go for it. But if you're already experiencing inflammation or issues, just switch it for a month until you get your body in a better spot. Like switch it for you to feel good. Because two, a big thing with inflammation is you just have to get to a place where your body understands how to intake all this variety of food or variety of whatever it is, or even chemicals, and know how to process it. When you're in a constant state of inflammation or fatigue or stress or gut health issues, your body doesn't know how to nor want to process things. So it's going to show that within how you feel and how you look. That's also why, for example, if you're super inflamed and have gut health issues, you go out for a free meal and you feel horrible. But when you're not inflamed and you have great health, you go out for a free meal, same free meal, you feel fine. Well, what's the difference? Well, because the body knows how to process things when it's not in an inflamed state. Cool. Okay, very random. Can I take a picture of all this?
I do have a random quick question that might legitimately just be like a me problem or like women in general.
Yeah.
Especially because like growing up, you're told like periods suck, your cycle sucks, everything sucks, right? And maybe it's because I've only had two periods in the last like year and a half because of like this child. Um, but like this, like especially this week, I've been feeling like hella lethargic. Milk production's been all through the roof. Like everything's been feeling off, and I don't know if that's like a what I am or I'm not eating, or if it's just like my hormones trying to re-regulate, or the fact that they might not be regulated for like another couple months. Or I'm trying to look for a way to make it not suck so bad.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll message you after this call for sure. Your hormones are most likely trying to regulate. A lot of the symptoms too which I have
Yes.
tons of protocols for that. Like, yeah, we'll fix that. But it's regulation, especially if you just had a little baby.
Yeah,
So
look at this thing.
your body's
Yeah,
trying
I know
to.
you mentioned like some small stuff about like cycles earlier, but I had to run and deal with her for really quick, so I had to like pop out of the call. I was like, God damn it.
Now, would you think that chase tree would be beneficial for her?
Arguably, yes. I love to like see a list of everything that she is experiencing, but I think Chaseberry is such a good. I think that's one of
Yeah.
the best for women supplements that anyone can take especially if their cycle's off or hormones. I took Chaseberry and then I moved to progesterone, which is basically the same thing, to help with my estrogen dominance when I was having horrible gut health issues. When you have horrible gut health issues, you usually have super high estrogen, which estrogen
Yeah.
isn't bad, but you're going to recognize that it does affect weight loss and it makes it really hard to lose weight.
Yep, I had the estrogen dominance. I had like zero progesterone, but I like tripled it naturally, the progesterone. The estradiol still wouldn't come down. But yeah, we fixed that problem. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you feel better now because I know that's not fun. Didn't get a period for 8 months after last competition. Oh my gosh. 3 weeks of taking, yeah, 3 weeks of taking Chaseberry. I'm telling you, it's crazy what that can do for you.
Quick question. Thoughts on kombucha? 'Cause I just know that's good for gut health, so I like will drink it here and there, but
Yeah. So fun thing about kombucha is if you are experiencing SIBO, because kombucha it's fermented. So if you are experiencing SIBO, usually when you have kombucha, you're going to experience a lot of gut health pain. Same if you have kimchi, sauerkraut. So that's a good like sign to use or a tester per se. But kombucha, I mean, if it's not the Lord and Savior, I would argue it's almost like the mineral thing. It's like not gonna boost progress per se. It's also not gonna harm you. If you enjoy the drink, cool. If you're looking at it as I hope this heals me from my bloating,
you're wrong.
yeah, it's not gonna do that. But I know what will, my gut cocktail.
I think I'm gonna take a video the first time and send it to you because you talked about this taste.
I'm telling you, don't taste it. Yeah, put the link in the chat, Justin, you're using for sure. I think I'm gonna have everyone's email. I would love for this to be like a group chat, so I'll figure out how to do that. But I will definitely. Oh, no over counters for hormones like Chaseberry or New Ethics for Chaseberry. Great brand. There's a certain progesterone that I use, but I would go for New Ethics Chaseberry unless you're super severe with like super estrogen dominant. Added sugars in kombucha. So yeah, certain brands have added sugars in kombucha. There's going to be sugars in kombucha no matter what. So I would just look for the minimal ingredient list or like if the ingredients are just wholesome. Let's see. Protein, New Ethics. Yeah, New Ethics supplements in general are a very safe go. So I'd highly recommend them. Amazing. Any other questions? I really appreciate. Oh, Shelby, you have more?
I was just gonna say, are we taking this selfie or what?
Yeah,
I know here.
Yeah, we'll take the self. And I also like you can ask any of y'all can DM me, ask me as a million questions, blow me up. I want to help each of you. Y'all are amazing humans and deserve to feel really good in your body. So yeah, awesome. We're gonna take this selfie. 3, 2, 1. And I'll send it to y'all. But thank you for taking time out of your Friday. And I hope that you do something fun for yourself tonight. So thank you. First masterclass, there will be a lot more, trust me, because I love talking. But appreciate all of y'all. Hopefully you got something. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And also, I will be messaging each of you individually, so just be on the lookout. But y'all have an amazing night, and thank you. And yay,
You too.
You too. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.